All right, Buffs fans, it's game week, and we got our Buffs beat brouhaha. Is that what you want to call it, Adam?
I think that's good.
Yeah?
It's got a nice ring to it.
Awesome. Well, you've seen all of us, but never really in the same video, so we thought it'd be kind of fun to do a season preview with everybody. I'm Brian Howell, Jake Schwanitz from DNVR, Adam Munstertiger from 24/7 Sports, and Nikki Edwards from Rivals.com. So just some basic questions we're going to go over with all of you guys. So you have to wait for the mic, so make sure you do that. But we're going to start with Jake. So the player you're most looking forward to watching on offense this season is?
Oh, I'm going to take the easy one, Dylan Edwards.
Okay.
This guy's been extremely explosive. He's going to have a role in the passing game as well, and just as a true freshman, it's been very impressive to see him come in. He's going to have a great impact, I think.
Awesome. Adam?
I got to go with Shedeur Sanders. You know, we've had to be unbiased watching this football team the last couple of years, but I think we all got into this because at the heart of it, we love sports and love football. And to have watched the quarterback play here the last few years and suffering through it with Colorado fans, I'm very anxious to see that quarterback play at the level that I expect it to this fall.
Yeah. Nikki?
Somewhat in agreement with Adam, but I'll go on the other side with Travis Hunter, who's going to be catching the majority of those passes. And, you know, it's really rare when we see a two-way player of his caliber. And what we saw in the spring was pretty spectacular. And we see the clips that what he's performing in fall camp, and he's doing really well. And I'm excited to see what him and Shedeur do this season.
So I have the benefit of going last, so I get to hear your answers first. I'm going to go Alton McCaskill for something different because now he's been in the yellow jersey all camp, but I cannot wait for a healthy Alton McCaskill to see what he can do because he's so impressive at Houston that, you know, he's going to be key to that run game. I think the running back group is awesome, but I'm excited for him. So how about the player you're most looking forward to see on defense? And let's go back the other way. Let's start with Nikki.
I think Shane Cokes, you know, we've been hearing a lot about him just literally from spring to now, and we hear how he's such a pro. He carries himself really well. He's an educator on the defensive line, and yesterday Coach Pry mentioned that, you know, his D-line, a couple of them are going to end up in double-digit sacks, and potentially that could be Shane Cokes, but I'm excited to see, you know, what he actually contributes because I haven't seen too much of his game literally since the spring, so there's been a lot of talk around him, and I'm excited to see how he can penetrate offensive lines.
Adam?
I'm going to stick with the Sanders family, and I'm going to go Shiloh Sanders. There was a play about midway through camp where he just completely blew up a play in the backfield. I realized he wasn't necessarily going against a first-team offense there, but we've seen some glimpses from Shiloh that make you think that he's going to bust some heads out there this fall.
Yeah. Jake?
I'll go with Jordan Dominic just because, you know, CU hasn't really had a premier pass rusher in forever. Last year we didn't have any pass rush whatsoever. This guy comes in, double-digit tackles for a loss in the SEC. He seems like he's really taking his game to another level out here, too, and can be that type of game wrecker for Colorado. So I'm excited to see if we get some pass rush from him.
Awesome. Now, it'd be easy to say Travis Hunter as well. We could say him on both sides of the ball. So I won't do that, but I love linebackers, and I'm going to go Demoy Kennedy because I'm excited for that speed to see that at linebacker and to see what he can do. I think that I love that linebacker group. I think it's going to be really good at the top. I'm curious to see if it's Levanta Bentley or Marvin Ham or whoever's with him, but I think Demoy Kennedy is going to be a lot of fun to watch. So next one, unheralded player that you think could have a big impact, that maybe is not getting talked about a lot, but somebody that you think will be a big impactful player. We'll start with Adam.
I want to go with Jack Wilty. He's a guy that I just feel like we've spent the last 4, 5, 6 months talking about the guys that are going to be starting or the guys that maybe before they even got here as transfers, guys that we expected to have a big impact like the Xavier Weavers. But especially with the Tyler Brown news, I think there's a little bit of a disappointment with that offensive guard group going into the season. But Jack Wilty, I loved his film coming in, and I think he's going to surprise some people.
Awesome. Let's go, Jake.
I'm going to go with Omari Miller. I think he's really impressed at wide receiver. They rave about how deep this wide receiving core is. So maybe not early, but throughout the year, I think he's going to carve out a role and really start making plays for this offense.
Okay. Nikki.
I kind of like split in between two. I think Miles Slusher kind of solidifying his role from what we heard yesterday was we haven't really been talking about him too much in the safeties room, but you know we've kind of seen what he's done at Arkansas, and you know he's had a lot of production there, and he's bringing it over to the Buffs, so that's really cool. And also hearing Carter Stoutmire's name yesterday as well, someone like, as you said, Jake, just freshmen that we aren't really talking about that are making an impact early.
Yeah. I've got a couple, and one of them, this is not an unheralded guy. We've heard about him a lot, but Shiloh Sanders is one that we haven't heard a lot about as far as how he plays. We've heard a lot about it because he's a Sanders, right? But I'm excited about him for what you said with safety. But my other answer is going to be Amari McNeil, that I think needs to be talked about more. I think he's going to be a really good player on the defensive line. Bishop Thomas as well, but I like Amari McNeil, sort of an unheralded player going in. So our last thing is, what are you expecting out of the season? And we don't necessarily need to give a record prediction. You can if you want, but what are you expecting out of the season? We'll start with Jake. You can give a record prediction if you want, but
I won't give a record. I'll say I'm expecting a lot of exciting football, something we haven't seen out here in a while, really. I'm expecting a bowl game, though. I think they'll be in bowl game contention. I think they have the potential to maybe get a win even on Saturday, but a few upsets throughout the year, and they've got some teams on their schedule they could definitely beat. So bowl eligibility for me.
Okay, Adam.
Yeah, I keep going back to the fact that as long as Shedeur Sanders stays healthy, I just think that he's going to will this team. He's got enough skill talent on this team around him offensively. There's enough athletes defensively. Now, I do expect the defense to be a little bit of an up and down unit. I think that's a group that's going to look better some weeks than others, and maybe there will be some games where there'll be some pressure on Colorado's offense to score a lot of points to stay in the game or win the game. But I wish we could know with certainty if Shedeur Sanders is going to play in all 12 regular season games. Yeah. Because he's healthy right now, I will say that they go 6-6 as a result of his quarterback play and the improved talent across the roster.
Okay, Nikki.
I'm kind of cruising in the middle there, going 6-6. You know, like Adam said, Shedeur Sanders is such a crucial part to this team success. I think maybe some questions going into the season is kind of what those trenches are looking like right now, just, you know, with the depth that they have in the interior of the defensive line and how they're going to perform. I think we're going to see some good things out of the offensive line, and overall a much more positive season than we've seen in the past. You know, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun for us and Buff fans just to see some productive football and just enter this new era of Colorado, because, you know, we've been talking about it all year and now we can finally see it firsthand at TCU. I think there's potentially some upsets. We'll see. Like TCU, that is such a great matchup to begin the season with, to really, as Trevor Wood said yesterday, just kind of see how they are on those national ranks and give a little taste to the Big 12. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, but I think there are going to be some challenges moving forward, and also at tight end. But it's going to be a work in progress, and it's going to be a fun season.
So are we all in agreement that the 3.5 over-under, you need to take the over? Yeah? Are we all in agreement that Tom Luganville doesn't know what he's talking about when he says this is the worst roster in college football?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in agreement with you guys. I think that I've been going between like 4 and 7 wins with this team. You guys are all kind of saying bowl game, so I better stick with it. I'm going to say bowl game as well and say they get to that 6. I've been on 5 and 7, but I can't sit here and say no bowl game if you guys are all doing that. So I'm going to say they find that 6 somewhere. I think this is a team that can be in a bowl game. And to Adam's point, if Shedeur is healthy, if these playmakers we're talking about are actually as good as they look in practice, they're going to be pretty good. If that defense can step up more weeks than not, I think they're going to be a bowl team. So it'll be a lot of fun. Anything else, you guys? Excited for Texas?
Can't wait, man.
Yeah?
Let's get it going.
Awesome. We'll all be in Texas, and we'll all have our different outlets that are doing things from Texas, so check us out there.